episode of the Merchant Minute by Circle Connect. I'm sitting here with Danny from Dry Bones Mud House. Appreciate him sitting down with us. And I'm just going to kind of jump into it. So, how did Dry Bones begin, and what made you choose the name Dry Bones?
So it started probably, I guess, about 5 years ago, actually, in my mind. Used to be on staff down in Florida at a church, and we didn't have an office. So a lot of my work I did in coffee shops, and I didn't drink coffee, which was funny. But I really enjoyed that scene and had been in a couple with some friends. I was like, well, that's a cool place to do work, and I found a really nice one down in Florida. And my time spent there, I was very limited on the coffee I drank because, like I said, I didn't drink it. So I just picked the real sweet, sugary drinks. And but I enjoyed just sort of seeing people gather. And because of my role on the staff, I was a groups pastor, so my job was relationships. It was an interesting concept to see how this was an area where people could gather and build relationships. And so it just sort of flourished out of that, this idea of wanting to be in an atmosphere and sort of being able to get people into that atmosphere. And coffee was that common drink. It was that common bond between all of them. So yeah, that's how it sort of flourished from there. And we eventually moved from Florida to Indianapolis and opened up Dry Bones. And as far as the name goes, that was an interesting sort of events there. A buddy of mine had come to me. He said he had been praying for us and just say, we know you're leaving and just hope everything goes well, and just you're in our thoughts. And he said, but I've got 2 words for you and I want you to think about. You can use it for a name for your shop or whatever you want to use it for. He said, Dry Bones. And I said, okay. I had sort of already had a name at that time, but I didn't really like it, actually. And so it stuck with me, and I sort of pushed it off, and it stuck with me for about 3 weeks. And finally I was just like, okay, all right, so how can this work? And yeah, that's how it worked. Dry Bones is actually, it's from Ezekiel 37 in the Old Testament, and it's just an instance where God had this vision for the prophet Ezekiel, and he said, look at this valley, and there's all these dry bones. And he said, can they come to life? And Ezekiel said, I don't know. Only you know that. And he's told him what to say, and all of a sudden these bones and this vision started forming and became people. And so for me, it's just this idea with our coffee shop, like coffee brings people to life. You got to have it in the morning and just get yourself going, emotionally, mentally, physically. We exist here to help people, try to help them just foster life into their lives, their atmospheres. We're just here, and we just want to be a part of that. We play music. We like to talk and have conversation. We like to laugh a lot. So it's just a place where we can make sure that people are feeling that energy and that liveliness and everything. So that's sort of how that came all about.
Yes. Awesome. And then what would you say that makes Dry Bones unique?
Well, we like to say that we are a different kind of coffee shop experience, and in that when you walk in, we want you to feel that energy, right? And it doesn't mean that this is always how our shops are going to be like if we decide to open up another one. We sort of cater to the atmosphere. So unique in being, when you walk in here, the Union 525, the Brower building that we're in, used to be a school. Actually, it was a school on 2 occasions. It was the original Manual High School, and then it was also Wood High School. And so when we walked in here, we sort of wanted to have that sort of school feel, right? So we have a lot of different sort of like the primary colors and some of the, just like the elementary school colors that you'd see. But it's also got a feel for the tech industry. We got different things that we have in here for people to be able to do things like this draw on board table. People can write on it, and we put quotes on it, but people can write on it. And I've seen people fill the whole table up with formulas and equations. I have no clue what they mean. We got art in here, and Indianapolis has a really good art scene. And so we have artists come in here and showcase their art, and we have it on our wall to sort of build that energy. And each one of these represents something. The wood is sort of the rural part of Indiana. So we try to do something that sort of brings a feel for Indiana, even to our tables, which are made of hickory. We try to be intentional about being very proud of being a Hoosier, being in a Hoosier state, and we want people to come in here and feel welcome too, obviously.
Gotcha. Awesome. And then going to your menu now, do you have any favorite menu items yourself, or like special menu items?
So I get asked this a lot. because being an owner of a coffee shop and a barista, people always want to know what. And so I think they always expect I'm going to go to the very fancy latte drink. We have some of those on our menu, and we do those. But I call myself a purist, not a coffee snob. There's a difference. I call myself a purist. When I started to actually learn about coffee and started to drink good coffee, good roasted, good brewed coffee, I fell in love with just the pure taste of coffee. And so I really enjoy Ethiopian coffees, but particularly natural processed coffees, so that they're a little bit sweeter. A lot of people have a hard time with that because that's not what they think of when they think of coffee. But I love a good black Ethiopian natural coffee.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, definitely not the answer you'd expect from somebody that runs a coffee shop, but
yeah,
we'll take it.
Yeah.
And then I guess with the weird times going on right now, how has like COVID affected your business, and then what can customers do to help?
Well, we are in a unique situation here in the Union 525. We are not as well known outside of the 525. We also have Rolls-Royce across the street, so we get a lot of our business almost basically what you would say in-house. If those companies aren't here, it's really no point for us to be open. We even were considering carry-out during this time, but we don't generate enough outside of this barrier, and that's sort of what we expected. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because we have great customers and a great family, and they're built in, but we don't have a lot coming from outside. And this is an area where there's a lot of walking around and shopping and stuff like that too. So when there's nothing open here and nobody's here, there's nobody down here really. So we are having to delay being open. We have been closed since March 16th, and right now, foreseeable future, maybe middle of June, but most likely beginning July, when the companies start to come back in more than just 25 at a time. So that's how it's affected us. Before that, we had customers who were great at buying gift cards and things like that. Coming back, when we do open up, we will be doing our online app. Mostly at the first phase, what we'll be doing. And so, people just getting on. It's called Cloosiv, and it's spelled CLOOSIV. And you'll see us pop up because it does it by proximity.
Okay.
And so we're very close to that as far as ordering and being able to order on there. And then when you come in, getting gift cards would be a huge help for us. Really, until then, there's not much anybody could really do. But we're making it so far. We've been approved for the economic disaster relief and then the PPP. So we've been okay. Hopefully not much longer.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's everything you can see is sort of closed off right now, and we're just sort of waiting for people to come back. So
Gotcha. And then, so how do you see an app like Circle Connect being able to help a small business like yours?
Well, I think, especially for mine, what I just said, getting out who we are, and the different things that we do, and the whole idea of just being able to show in an area, particularly small businesses and coffee shops like mine, is always a huge help, because sometimes we're just sort of overrun by all of the large corporate businesses, and so those will pop up first, and even in Yelp or Google and things like that. So for us, it's very helpful to have somebody that's focusing on Indiana and Indianapolis and just the small businesses, to bring attention to what we're doing, and just get another way for us to get our name out there.
Yeah. And then I'll leave you with: are there any last thoughts you want to leave our viewers about Dry Bones or yourself?
Well, it's me and Derek, and right now we have had a third employee from time to time, but it's me and Derek, and we are just ready to serve people. We have fun, we enjoy it. If you don't want to come and have a long conversation, that's fine. We understand that. You want to get your coffee and go, but if you want to sit at the bar, hang out and talk and pick our brains, watch us do pour-overs, whatever it is, we're always up for that, and we try to make it very personable and be open to have those conversations with people. So we come in and experience it. Oh, and we have what is rumored to be the largest non-water slide in the state of Indiana, which is in our courtyard right here. And we have a hashtag we use called Sip and Slide. So you are, by all means, welcome to come in and check out the two slides that we have from the 4th floor or technically the third floor because we have a lower level, all the way down to our courtyard. So that's another cool thing that I don't think any other coffee shop can say they have in the state of Indiana.
It definitely makes you unique.
Yeah.
Well, Deanie, I really appreciate you sitting down today.